Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Before we get into the video, yes, I am wearing the same shirt as yesterday because I didn't plan to make a video today, but I felt I had a responsibility to go ahead and cover this. So as many of you know, yesterday I made a video about FextraLife. Part of it is about a recent controversy with them being accused of downvoting or mass downvoting people in a Baldur's Gate 3 build subreddit. And then I also used the video as an opportunity to speak broadly about some of the accusations and criticisms that have been leveled towards them, to kind of throw in my 2 cents and hopefully provide some balanced commentary. And based upon the comments under that video, a lot of you felt like it was a more balanced, measured voice than you've heard previously in the discussion. Well, FextraLife has done something I didn't actually expect them to do. They've directly responded to what has occurred. And I feel like it's worth going through. A, because I did the original video, so I feel like I need to give their official response an equal amount of weight and exposure. But B, they decided to use this the same way I did and address a wide variety of accusations that have been levied at them, not just the Reddit controversy, which I think is fascinating and is going to allow us to have a very interesting dialogue. Now, I want to make something clear before we finally get into this. I am not, I don't farm drama. I don't usually talk about this kind of stuff. I've consumed FextraLife content for years, and so I've heard this kind of commentary for years, so I felt it was something that I really wanted to discuss, but I'm going to make this video, and more than likely that's going to be it. As always, I'm going to provide my honest opinions and perspectives about anything I speak on. Some of these things in this statement I really agree with, and I'm really happy with the tone that they struck. There are definitely a couple of things here that I don't agree with, and when we come across those things, I'm going to be honest and fair and say this doesn't really make sense to me. And then once again, will be it, and probably get back to the stuff that we usually do. Sound good? Let's get into it. So, important ongoing harassment. And this entire post was made by FextraLife. It appears she's the founder of FextraLife. I don't really know the FextraLife hierarchy. I just know, we hear Cass's voice all the time. So this is interesting. Let's get into it. We don't normally get involved with drama, as the whole purpose of these posts is to create responses like this one and farm people for outrage content. However, given the horrible and absurd nature of the accusations, we want to set the record straight with our community. I made FextraLife because I wanted people to be able to play these games, regardless of their busy lives, growing families, or lack of experience or understanding of mechanics. I love gaming and I love RPGs, so I try my best to help make them as accessible as possible so that people don't give up on them for whatever reason. For the record, I think FextraLife does a great job of that. I use their wikis heavily for Divinity Original Sin 2. I made it clear I definitely see some of the concerns people have regarding the wikis and that they should be updated on a more regular basis, which is spoken about down below. But on the whole, FextraLife, in my mind, is of a great service to the overall gaming community. A few days ago, we were made aware that a moderator of a small subreddit, BG3 Builds, who also writes content for a small Baldur's Gate wiki site that is marketing itself as a Fextra alternative, announced via Sticky that he would be banning our domain because he suspected there was a bot campaign manipulating posts. He allegedly conducted a test that supposedly showed him that if he posted something bad about FextraLife, he would get downvoted. He also claims that he suspected there was also downvoting on links to his preferred domain. This test was allegedly conducted by him only and has no external validation, and he has admitted there's no proof that we'd at all be involved. Anyone could have downvoted him. So, based on nothing but his own bias and with zero evidence of our involvement, he decided to publicly say he leaned toward it being bots manipulating and tell his community he wanted to ban links to us. And if anyone tried to post a link, he would post an auto reply telling them Fextra is blacklisted for vote manipulation and linking to his wiki instead. It's very hurtful to me to see the stuff that people assume or take at face value. It seems you can accuse anyone of things on Reddit and get people riled up and assume it's the truth. This whole statement is a big reason why I pushed back in that last video. As it was like, well, you know, scumbags will be scumbags, or scumbags do scumbag things. Like, no, you got this whole large community of people who already just hate FextraLife, feel like they're terrible, feel like they're the scum of the earth. And so anything that's said about them, they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, they probably did that as well, because, you know, they're just bad all the way around. It's not fair. It's not fair. And that's also why I said, yo, downvoting is way worse than any of these things FextraLife is involved in, whether you agree with them or not. Maybe you don't like embedding. Maybe you don't like, you know, some of the ways that they handle Twitch. It's not the same as downvoting, folks. It's not the same as trying to pull other content creators down. It's crazy to try to say that. Here is the truth. We didn't do any of this. There's literally zero evidence that we did any of this, and the moderator blaming us is heavily invested in the other website that, since it was launched 2 years ago, has constantly self-promoted on Reddit while bad-mouthing us. Typical of negative campaigns, it's not use me because I have good content, it's use me because they are evil, because make random accusation here. This is now being spread as fact by other content creators, not me, by the way, that are using these false allegations to try and paint us in a bad light because they perceive us as competition or a threat, or because they are simply drama merchants that benefit from outrage and witch hunts. I did not ask anyone in my community to interact with any subreddit post. I definitely do not have any Reddit bots, or have used any Reddit bots, or even know how to use any Reddit bots. I didn't even know Reddit bots were a thing. I have never even been to the BG3 build subreddit before this was posted, and I have never made a negative post about their wiki. I don't actually use Reddit, and I may post every few months or years based on the situation, and the idea that Reddit is good for SEO or traffic is coming from people that don't know how things work. Otherwise, the consistent sticky topics and promotion links from Reddit moderators will control the entire internet. Reddit accounts for less than 1% of our traffic because people using Reddit are not looking to get in-depth gaming guides off-site, or already decided they didn't want to use what Google or YouTube propose. This portion is why I felt like FextraLife didn't do it. I didn't come out all the way and just cape for them in the last video, but I made it clear, like, hey, if they did it, they should be punished, but I don't really think they did it. Because yeah, if you're sitting at the top of Google already, why are you putting in all this energy and effort to convince a bunch of Redditors that your content is golden? You don't need them. If you're sitting at the top of Google, you don't need Reddit. Our main competitors are fandom, which you heard me mention in the last video. A lot of people say like they prefer fandom as an alternative. Fandom is someone she's going after. IGN, Games 8, PC Gamer. These are really giant sites with hundreds of millions of US dollars in budget and 500 plus staff. In contrast, FextraLife is Fex and Cas, plus stream content from Tier, Uria, volunteer contributors, and video editors, admin, tech support. Besides the fact of how disgustingly unethical that would be, and how I would strongly condemn and denounce any such action done in our name, we simply do not have the capacity, money, time, or need to engage in such a stupid activity. Too long didn't read? This is a really ridiculous accusation that is also unfounded, has no evidence, and can be done by anyone. The people who benefit the most from this are a very small website that is now being presented as a virtuous martyr of evil FextraLife, and is being promoted exclusively without competition. All right, so that is their response directly to the Reddit situation. FextraLife doesn't need Reddit, period. So I think that whole thing is dead. Now we get into the portion of this statement that I think is frankly more fascinating. They go line by line and walk through all the various, or a lot of the various accusations and criticisms people have had toward FextraLife, and make their direct case about why these things are simply not true. First accusation: FextraLife is a large faceless company. This is just silly and untrue. The whole everything about ex-creator sites are so lame. They have a picture of Rick instead of Cass. We're a very small team working our butts off to create content for the games we love. People don't understand content creators of a size must use companies and agents to process payments, handle copyright or legal, obtain health insurance, or pay others. FextraLife is a tiny group, and we're doing our best competing with really big corporations out there. I kind of see both sides of this. On the one hand, I understand. From their perspective, they see the people who are working with the company every day. They're like, we're real people. If you watch their Twitch channel, you oftentimes can see their faces. So they're like, don't treat us like we're this big conglomerate, this faceless company that's trying to lord over everything. I can see that perspective. On the other hand, if you don't watch the Twitch channel, you never see these people. Like, they're never on YouTube. I looked up the name of the person who posted this, and I couldn't find a picture. Like, when you Google that name, no photo comes up. I have no idea how this person looks. I've seen them referred to as a woman multiple times, and that's why I'm using her. But I have no idea how this person looks. I don't really know who this person is. So, and I feel like that's by design. A lot of these people behind FextraLife who are not cast have put in effort at living their private lives. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, I really don't want my image out there, and I really don't want people to know all that much about me, but then at the same time complain and say, well, why are you all treating us as a large faceless company? Something has to give. Next accusation: FextraLife is viewbotting. I think there's a contradiction here, but maybe I'm just reading it wrong. So I'll read through it, and then I'll point out where I feel like the contradiction is, and you all can let me know down in the comments if you feel like this is just me being confused and the way they've written it is perfectly okay. A viewbot is when you use artificial and non-existing browsers to inflate views on Twitch. And that does try to fool advertisers because A, it plays an ad, and B, nobody is watching. Embedding is an advertisement of the stream to real people on real browsers on an external website. Like any integration, the objective is to get people to click and go to Twitch. In my video yesterday, when Asmongold said viewbotting and embedding is the same thing, I agreed with him because I didn't realize that a viewbot is part of it is specifically meant to fool the advertisers into believing something that's not true. But based upon this definition of it, yes, embedding is different from viewbotting because, again, as you see here, advertisers know about embedding. So you're not really trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. No advertisements are played on the embedded unit, generating zero revenue. Hold that thought. Embeds are part of the intended code of Twitch and are an intentional feature that anyone can use, and many content creators besides us do. These are real people that we have worked tirelessly to build up into our community. What embedding does for me is make my website audience aware I'm a person. I'm streaming, and I can show them games that I think they'd be interested in. What embedding does for Twitch is give them free advertising for their platform and ongoing conversions from our website to Twitch. These new people were not on Twitch otherwise and will now probably be recommended somewhere else and hopefully come back and become part of the Twitch ecosystem. It's why Twitch has this feature, similar to YouTube embeds. Our embed is by no means a secret. It's very visible. In fact, in the best possible spot in our website. And there's even a command for it on our channel and part of the channel rules. The idea that it's fraud is also absurd. Our sponsors are aware of the embed, and it's a great deal for them to be able to promote their content on both Twitch and to our site users at the same time, particularly in the prime location that the embed has on our website. Isn't that a contradiction though? So up here, they say no advertisements are paid on the embedded unit, generating zero revenue. So I interpret that as when you look at the wiki and you see the embed from their Twitch stream on the wiki, no ads are playing on that embed, right? That's what I assume they're saying. But down here, they're saying their sponsors are aware of the embed and it allows them to promote their content, right? Their ad on both Twitch and to our site users at the same time. Am I bugging? Am I misunderstanding? I feel like this is a contradiction here. Either the ads from Twitch are playing on the embedded unit on the wiki, which would then technically generate, maybe they don't give you extra revenue based on which place you're playing it, but you are playing the ad on the embedded unit, or it's not, and therefore your sponsors are not able to promote their content on both Twitch and your site. Let me know down in the comments if maybe I'm confused and I'm reading this wrong, but this to me, this doesn't really line up. So if it doesn't line up, I'd actually appreciate some clarity from FextraLife on how it works, just because I love business. So I'm just curious about how it works out. At the end of the day, I don't feel they're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes. They're not screwing over their advertisers. None of that bullshit Asmongold was saying, to me, actually lines up. This next criticism is one I actually hadn't heard. FextraLife is AI content. Some of y'all have been calling the wikis AI content. You cannot create a wiki with AI. And we would never create content with AI, because the whole point of doing this and being a content creator is to write and help people on these games we like. We've had our sites and wikis since before there was a half-functioning AI. And the idea that an AI could produce this content is so absurd. Everyone would have this website if so. You can tell the AI articles by seeing the bloated top results you get on Google these days. And I guarantee you, they look nothing like our pages. Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. I assume this is a criticism that has generated a lot of traction. Otherwise, I don't even see why they would mention this. But yeah, you may have complaints about how often they're updated, but the idea that they're just AI and it's just spitting out those type of results, no, come on now. FextraLife is just lazy, opportunistic content because the wikis aren't complete. Our content is made from pre-release copies. We work non-stop for weeks to play games, record footage, come up with content, and translate it to both text and video. Every time you come by a wiki and it has an image, I had to get that item, screenshot it, name the screenshot, then crop the image, upload it to the wiki, add it to the page, and type out the stats by hand. Once a game launches, there's usually a good amount of information on the wiki alongside templates for expansion. But since the idea is to provide a community platform, the 100% fleshing out is done by the community. This happens over time, and the depth of the wiki ends up directly related to the interest in the game by the community, or in some cases, very dedicated superfans who put in a lot of work to record their findings. It is not reasonable to expect me or our tiny team to 100% cover every single game we're interested in. No other content creator or website is held to this demand. The whole point of hosting the special software for a wiki is so that others can collaborate and fill in the spaces if they want. I'm good with everything here. This part of their response, hey, they're saying we make the wiki based upon pre-release copies of the game. And oftentimes, you don't have the game for that long, right? They're only going to have it for a couple of days, maybe sometimes only a week, where they've got to be able to put together that information. So it's a ton of work in a very short time frame. They've got to get the images, screenshot it, type up all those mechanics, do all that information, right? So it's a ton of work done in a very short span of time. And they feel like once that has been completed, the 100% fleshing out of that information should be done by the overall community. I might necessarily agree with that. It would be nice for them to be willing to devote more resources to keeping the information up to date long term, but they have a right to say, hey, this is where we stand. I'm good with that. This doesn't make sense to me. This portion I'm not really cool with, right? Especially this part, our tiny team, right? I don't know anybody at FextraLife. I'm not familiar with their hierarchy. I don't know anything about their bookings. I'm sorry. I don't think you have to be directly involved to see that FextraLife is making money hand over fist. Like, resources is not holding this company back. Okay. So if your team is tiny, that's a money move. All right. I'm sorry. I'm an adult. Most of us adults, a lot of us work in corporate America. We've all been in those situations where, you know, 2-3 people get let go from the team. Then the manager walks in and like, hey, you know, we're all a family here. We all got to tighten our belts and make it happen. I'm going to need some of y'all to come in on the weekends to get this work done. You know, those other people, they were holding us back. So now we all need to come together and make sure everything goes well. Like, your team is tiny so you can reap as much of the profits as possible. And that's fine. You've put in the work. You've put yourself in a position. You deserve everything that you're going to get. Don't try to turn around and say, well, the onus should be on the community to update these wikis because our tiny team, well, we can't handle it. Don't say, well, no other content creator or website is held to this demand. No other content creator or website is set up like FextraLife. Name me another content creator that has a YouTube channel that's almost has 1 million subs, that gets 1 million view videos on a very consistent basis, who also has a wiki website with dozens or possibly even 100 different wikis for massive games that all hit the top of SEO in Google, that also has ads, that also has their Twitch streams embedded into it that point over to their Twitch channel, where they also have sponsorships and where they also get money from channel memberships. There's nobody else like y'all. So it's not crazy that you're held to a different standard of demand. So to try to say that the criticism is unreasonable and that you're so tiny and that resources are so scarce and that, oh, nobody else is spoken to like that, nah, that doesn't work. Say the truth. We are focused on quantity. We are focused on, hey, every single RPG that comes out, we want people to know you can come to FextraLife and see a wiki that's going to provide you information about any questions or issues that you are having. And if people are passionate about the information, they can come and update it. But once that launch happens and the game is out, we're on to the next one. We're not running that back. We're not coming back to update the information based on new things that have happened. That is not our responsibility. That's not where we stand as a company. This is honest. This portion right here, to me, it's dishonest. It's dishonest. It's not based on the reality of your situation. And then the last criticism, FextraLife is harming gaming. Another outlandish claim. This is a specific Twitch or Reddit one often posted and quickly accompanied by, so check out my content here because I'm real and passionate about this, and they are not. The concept is that because we exist, others can't grow their own content. This is just silly. Having more places making content is a good thing for any game. People parse and process information differently, prefer different things. Having different websites, different voices, different layouts, give more people the opportunity to find guys that can help them specifically. Trying to ban or limit who should be allowed to make games or blaming us for being successful at doing so is not only authoritarian, but actually harmful for the audience that needs help. Completely agree. And I made it clear in my last video, FextraLife is not pulling you down. FextraLife is not holding you back. If you're not succeeding as a Twitch streamer, it's because you need to make adjustments, or it's because Twitch is frankly managing their platform in a way that's harmful to creators. It's not FextraLife. FextraLife is not the reason you're not able to accomplish your goals and your dreams. And all these people trying to say that they're harming the gaming ecosystem and making things harder for streamers, no, I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. When other websites and creators attack us in this manner, it seems cynical and malicious, particularly when they know the things they are saying are not true. I can't prove this, but I'll accuse you anyway and encourage people to harass you is a disgusting approach. I will willfully misrepresent embedding as botting so that my audience get confused and think you're a fraud is also malicious. I won't be posting about this again because I don't think there's a point, as the people that thrive on this drama have built entire communities for this and get off on the stress that they cause others. But for all of you who are here and confused about what has been going on and why there's been brigades against our channel, this is the reason. And I hope you can ignore it and focus on gaming, which is what we are all here to do. And thank you to all of you who have reached out to express support and to the many contributors and fans that have helped us along the way. And that's a statement. All in all, I think it was a great statement. I think they pretty much put this whole thing to rest. Again, I have no plans to post on this. I will continue to consume FextraLife content both on YouTube and through the wikis. They still have a bunch of wikis that I definitely use and enjoy. I think I try to present this dialogue in a way that was honest about how I feel. As I said at the top of the video, most of this I agree with. There were a couple of points that I didn't agree with, and that could just be my own lack of understanding, or hey, we could just agree to disagree. But yeah, anyway, hope all of you enjoy this video. Take care.